A Chinese gun enthusiast in North America holding a Type 97 assault rifle and a Type 92 pistol spoke for 2 hours in front of the camera. His comments emphasized a significant concern. China's soldier equipment is often the most overlooked and underfunded part of its military system. Despite China's capability to produce advanced military technology, such as the intercontinental missile and the J-20 stealth fighter, its failure to create reliable personal weapons, durable combat boots, or effective bulletproof vests highlights issues within the military procurement system, not industrial capabilities. Let's focus on the Type 92 pistol. According to government description, the Type 92 is China's first modernized self-developed pistol, with development having started in 1994. It was first publicly displayed at the 1999 Macau handover ceremony and was later widely issued to the PLA and armed police. The pistol is also noted for being one of the first in the world to feature modular design, almost 20 years ahead of the U.S. Army's M17 M18. The modular design allows components such as the grip, trigger group, and slide to be disassembled for easy maintenance and replacement without affecting combat readiness. However, upon examination, several issues become apparent. Night sights. The radioactive materials used in the sights are minimal, resulting in insufficient brightness that lasts only 2 hours. In contrast, other models like Glock or Beretta can maintain consistent brightness throughout the night. These all have an impact on aiming accuracy during night operations. Surface coating. The coating is thin and prone to peeling off after minimal use. The edges are rough, making the pistol uncomfortable to handle. This suggests that manufacturing standards may have been compromised. Magazine design. The large windows on both sides of the magazine allow sand and dirt to enter, especially in dusty environments. If the magazine falls and is picked up, it could jam. Some officers have privately expressed a preference for purchasing their own Glock pistols instead of using the issued Type 92. While personal firearms are not typically permitted within the military, these remarks raise attention on the reliability of the issued weapons. Barrel life. The barrel is made from substandard materials, and its chrome plating is of poor quality. After about 3,000 rounds, the barrel is likely to be damaged, whereas other models, like Glock and Beretta, can withstand over 10,000 rounds without significant wear. The ballistic performance of different batches of the Type 92 can vary. The same gun and ammunition may perform inconsistently, with some guns shooting higher or lower than others at distances of 20 to 50 meters. This requires soldiers to recalibrate their sights every time they switch weapons. The root cause of these issues seems to be that the tolerances are extremely large, and parts from different batches cannot be used interchangeably. The magazine you purchased might not fit into a teammate's Type 92 pistol. This is not a design flaw, but rather a failure in production quality control. The original purpose of modular design was to improve maintenance efficiency, but if the dimensions of parts from each batch are inconsistent, the modular design becomes a mockery. What does this indicate? It suggests that there are no strict quality control standards on the production line, or those standards are not properly enforced. Behind this, it often points to one issue. Individuals may be accepting kickbacks, cutting costs, or prioritizing profits over the safety of soldiers. 95-97 rifles, a bullpup design that may be a mistake. Next, we look at the Type 95 rifle. This was China's first widely issued bullpup-style rifle, introduced in 1997 and still in service with the People's Liberation Army. Officially, it is promoted as compact, flexible, and suitable for Asian body types. However, the feedback from actual users is less flattering. Iron sights. The rear sight aperture is extremely small, making aiming nearly impossible at dusk, and completely ineffective at night. In contrast, the US military's AR-15 can be fitted with a variety of easily adjustable sights. For the Type 95, or its export version Type 97, specialized tools are required to adjust the front sight for elevation. White light sights. The domestic white light sight that comes with the rifle is more of a symbolic accessory. The eyepiece is small, light transmission is poor, and the field of view is narrow, making target identification very difficult in low light conditions. With its 5.56mm caliber, the rifle's accuracy is only 1.5 minute of angle, which is considered substandard for a service rifle. Expansion options. The rifle offers virtually no room for modification. Unlike the AR-15, which can easily accommodate tactical lights, laser pointers, and various optics, the Type 95-97's rail system is limited, offering little customization. This lack of flexibility means soldiers cannot adjust their equipment for different mission requirements. Safety mechanism. One of the most criticized features is the placement of the safety. It is located at the stock, forcing soldiers to reach behind the gun to operate it. This is not only inconvenient but also highly unsafe. Under pressure, soldiers may not be able to disengage the safety in time. In comparison, the AR-15 has the safety conveniently placed next to the trigger guard, allowing for quick operation with the thumb. Magazine issues. The most frequent complaint is about the magazine. The polymer magazine used with the Type 95 is prone to deformation, especially during transport and storage. Even slight movement of the rounds inside can cause feeding issues. This is why soldiers are often seen tapping the magazine on their helmet. It's not a design feature, but a necessity due to poor magazine quality. Some may argue tapping magazines is an old tradition. Veterans from World War II and Vietnam did the same. While that's true, those veterans were tapping metal magazines to ensure the rounds were properly aligned. With the Type 95's plastic magazines, tapping is required because they lose their shape and must be physically corrected before use. Why, after nearly 30 years of service, does the Type 95 rifle fail to meet basic ergonomic standards? The answer lies in outdated design concepts and corruption within the production process. The Type 95's design philosophy stems from the Soviet AK series. Durability is prioritized, with ergonomics secondary. The idea is to make the soldier adapt to the weapon, not the weapon adapt to the soldier. This design philosophy may have been acceptable during the Cold War, but in the 21st century's information-driven warfare, it is outdated. Modern warfare focuses on efficiency and rapid response. If soldiers are required to spend additional time adapting to a poorly designed firearm, it only serves to compromise their safety and effectiveness. The issue with the magazine quality directly points to corruption within the production process. The problem isn't with polymer magazines themselves, such as the US military's PMag, which is also made of plastic but has high strength and is resistant to deformation. Why do China's polymer magazines deform easily? The reason is poor quality plastic materials or cost-cutting measures in the injection molding process. 88 sniper rifle, from sniper rifle to anti-hostage weapon. Finally, let's look at the 88 sniper rifle. The 88 rifle was China's first domestically designed sniper rifle, introduced in 1988. The domestic version uses a 5.8mm caliber, while the export version uses the 5.56mm NATO caliber. While it has some advantages, such as being lightweight and suitable for long-range operations, as well as being flexible in close and medium-range combat due to its bullpup design, the drawbacks outweigh the benefits. Sights. The rifle can only use the standard built-in white light sight with a dovetail slot and cannot accommodate higher-end optics. The built-in sight has poor light transmission and a narrow field of view. While the Soviets added a plastic cover to prevent fogging in their sights, Western solutions used chemical coatings to address this issue, offering a clear contrast in performance. Bipod design. This is a critical flaw. The bipod is mounted on the barrel instead of the body of the rifle, which contradicts a fundamental principle of modern sniper rifles. The free-floating barrel. Its purpose is to ensure that the barrel does not contact the rifle body, allowing the recoil and vibrations to be absorbed by the rifle's frame. And the barrel's sole job is to deliver the bullet accurately. Mounting the bipod on the barrel means that every shot disturbs the barrel, negatively affecting accuracy. Safety mechanism. Once again, the rifle features a rear-mounted safety. Before each shot, the left hand must not only control the rifle, but also reach to the back of the stock to engage or disengage the safety. This design is both inconvenient and prone to accidental activation. Ammunition. The most serious issue lies in the caliber choice. The 88 sniper rifle uses either the 5.8mm or 5.56mm NATO round for the export version, which are not suitable for sniper rifles. Modern sniper rifles generally have an effective range starting at 800 meters, such as the US M24 sniper rifle. However, the effective range of the 88 sniper is only about 400 meters. More critically, these smaller caliber rounds, being light and fast, are highly susceptible to external factors. A slight breeze, impact with glass, or other obstacles can cause the bullet to tumble or alter its trajectory. This is why Chinese people refer to the 88 as an anti-hostage weapon. In counterterrorism situations, if a hostage taker stands behind a window, a sniper using the 88 may unintentionally hit the hostage rather than the perpetrator, as the bullet's path could unpredictably change after passing through the glass. In comparison, many units prefer the 85 sniper rifle. Although it may not be as precise as the 88, it uses full-powered ammunition, which has a heavier bullet and more stable ballistics. When fired through glass, the bullet's trajectory is less likely to change. Why would a sniper rifle be equipped with ammunition that is unsuitable for sniping? The answer is straightforward: to standardize ammunition and reduce logistical costs. The 5.8mm round is the standard ammunition for the Type 95 rifle, while the 5.56mm round is used by the Type 97. By equipping sniper rifles with the same ammunition, the logistics supply chain can be simplified and costs reduced. However, the cost-saving measure comes at the expense of the sniper's operational effectiveness and increases the risk of friendly fire or hitting hostages. This is not a matter of technical backwardness. It is the decision to trade soldiers' lives for logistical convenience. Soldier protection, when people's soldiers can't even wear proper shoes. The issues with weaponry are just the tip of the iceberg. What's even more alarming is the state of individual soldiers' protection equipment. The gun enthusiast in the video mentioned a detail. He has friends in China who specialize in military orders, clothing, shoes, and protective gear for the army. One of these friends made some chilling statements. Everything is cheapened to the extreme. The so-called military standards are just a way for some powerful group to pocket money. Shoes wear out quickly, and combat uniforms are basically just for show. The equipment seen at parades is vastly different from what is actually issued to the troops. Let's break down the implications of this. 1. Procurement standards are ineffective. The so-called military standards do not ensure quality, but instead provide opportunities for corruption. 2. The disparity between parade and actual equipment. This indicates the existence of two systems, one for display and one for actual use. 3. Poor quality equipment for frontline soldiers. Shoes wear out quickly, and combat uniforms are not durable. This is not an isolated issue. Complaints about the quality of equipment for frontline troops in the PLA have been ongoing for years. Soldiers have reported that combat boots are not waterproof and begin to deteriorate after just a few days of marching. Bulletproof vests, while heavy, often provide inadequate protection, with some even containing substandard materials. The design of individual soldier backpacks is frequently criticized, as they can cause shoulder injuries during long marches. Even small tactical items, such as gloves and knee protectors, are inconsistent in quality. In contrast, the US military has had body armor in use for decades, while the PLA has only recently begun to equip its forces on a large scale. The US also has highly standardized individual night vision systems, communication headsets, and tactical gear, while the PLA is still in the process of deploying these technologies. The US military is currently testing HoloLens augmented reality helmets, offering soldiers an Iron Man experience, while the PLA has only just started issuing electronic night vision goggles. Some might argue this isn't fair. The US military's budget is several times larger than China's. That's true, however, the issue is not about how much money is spent, but rather where the money is actually going. The logic of corruption. Why are high-end systems improving while frontline equipment gets worse? There is a clear underlying logic to this situation. High-end weapon systems such as missiles, aircraft carriers, and fighter jets are considered prestige projects. These projects receive ample funding, strict supervision, and limited space for corruption. On the other hand, frontline equipment, including firearms, clothing, and boots, operates as a procurement black hole. Orders are scattered, oversight is lax, and there is ample room for corruption. Why is this the case? Because a single aircraft carrier or J-20 fighter jet is one of only a few in the country. These projects attract media attention, high-level scrutiny, and international focus. No one would risk tampering with these high-profile systems, as any corruption would quickly be uncovered. However, when it comes to a handgun, combat boots, or a bulletproof vest, the military requires tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of such items. Orders are distributed across dozens of factories and hundreds of suppliers. At each stage of production, there is the opportunity to cut costs, optimize the supply chain, and improve efficiency. In practice, this often means cutting corners, delivering subpar goods, and accepting kickbacks. These issues rarely make the news or attract outside attention. If a soldier complains about poor quality boots, they are often dismissed as too sensitive. If a firearm is rendered unusable after just 3,000 rounds, it's considered normal wear and tear. The most critical issue is that frontline soldiers have no place to voice their concerns. They cannot publicly complain about equipment quality, nor can they refuse to use substandard gear. They are not allowed to purchase better alternatives in the market, except in the case of a few special forces units. As a result, soldiers are left to compensate for the profit margins lost to corruption themselves. The institutional deadlock, when military standards become a tool for rent-seeking. One of the most striking statements made by the friend in the video was, "The so-called military standards are just a way for certain power groups to pocket money." To understand this statement, it's important to first consider the original purpose of military standards. These standards were meant to ensure the quality and reliability of military equipment by setting strict technical criteria, testing processes, and acceptance procedures. In practice, however, military standards often become something very different. Instead of serving as a genuine guarantee of quality, military certification has turned into a tool for those with connections. Only companies with the right links can obtain military certification, and to pass the necessary tests, companies often have to pay bribes, offer gifts, or leverage relationships. Even once a company obtains certification, it becomes difficult to hold them accountable for poor quality products, because they can claim that they meet the military standard. As a result, military standards cease to be a guarantee of quality, and instead become a passport for corruption. This creates a system that effectively rewards corruption. Companies that might produce quality equipment often fail to win contracts because they lack the necessary connections, while those who offer bribes secure the orders. These substandard products are then sent to the military, and the soldiers on the front lines, unable to effectively complain, must endure the poor quality of their gear. When complaints do arise, the proper channels are either ineffective or ignored, and those in higher positions may turn a blind eye to the issues because they too benefit from the corrupt practices. This cycle perpetuates itself, with the situation gradually worsening. Meanwhile, truly capable and ethical companies are either squeezed out of the market or forced to compromise their principles in order to survive. This explains why China can produce world-class drones but struggles to create a reliable handgun, why it can build the DF-41 missile but can't produce durable combat boots. It's not a matter of technology, but of the institutional system. Epilogue. When you can't even manufacture a bullet, what's the use of a carrier killer? At the end of the video, the gun enthusiast said, "If you can't even produce a single bullet properly, how can I believe that you can create a carrier killer that hits its target from thousands of miles away? If you can't even make a rifle properly, how can I believe that your stealth fighter can dominate the skies?" While these statements may seem harsh, they underline an important reality. A nation's military strength is not only determined by its most advanced weapon systems, but also by its quality and reliability of its basic equipment. In modern warfare, success does not rest solely on the capabilities of a few high-tech systems, such as fighter jets or missiles. Instead, it is the everyday soldiers that are equipped with firearms, rifles, sniper rifles, bulletproof vests, and combat boots, who face the challenges of adverse conditions, such as harsh weather and long-term deployments. If these soldiers are using rifles that break down after firing only a limited number of rounds, boots that deteriorate quickly during extended use, or bulletproof vests that fail to protect them in critical situations, then no matter how advanced other military technologies may be, they will not be able to perform effectively. Equally concerning is the potential impact on morale when soldiers realize that their equipment may not be as reliable as their adversaries. When soldiers are aware that their firearms could jam at a crucial moment, or that their protective gear might not withstand a bullet, it raises concerns about their ability to remain focused and effective in combat situations. This is not an isolated issue. Historically, armies with superior equipment and high morale have often been able to prevail against larger forces. In contrast, poorly equipped and demoralized troops, no matter how many there are, often struggle to maintain their effectiveness. During the 2025 military parade, the ZTZ-100 tank passed through Tiananmen Square, accompanied by the slogan, "Leading the World." However, in the less visible parts of the military, there are many soldiers who continue to work with equipment that may be substandard. These soldiers often go unnoticed by the media. However, in the event of conflict, they are likely to be among the first to face the realities of warfare. When a conflict occurs, the narrative of leading the world may be overshadowed by the real-world challenges of equipment failures and inadequate resources. What will remain are the statistics, casualties, damages, and losses. Meanwhile, those responsible for procurement and production decisions may avoid public scrutiny while continuing to benefit from a corrupt system. The underlying issue is not a lack of technological capability, but the systemic inefficiencies and gaps in oversight that compromise the quality of basic military equipment. When a country claims to prioritize the welfare of its soldiers, but struggles to provide essential gear like durable boots, it highlights the need for reform and accountability within the military.